Good morning, everyone. Again, I am Marcus R. Amogis. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to this session where we will explore the thought provoking short story poem, The Old Man, His Son, in Their Bike by M. Ibrahim from Singapore. So, this interesting story unfolds the challenges faced by an elderly Malay and his son as they try to manage societal pressures and opinions about their old rusty bike. The narrative prompts us to reflect on the futility of trying to please everyone and leaves us with a question like, can we ever truly please everyone around us? And the question, what happens when we prioritize others' opinions over our own happiness? So now, to dig deeper and to read us the story, I am now handing over the virtual floor to Miss Iris Villaflor. So that concludes our presentation this morning. Again, thank you for joining us today. May this story inspire us to all navigate and drive life's journey with authenticity and prioritize our own happiness over external judgments. Thank you.
The old man, his son, and their bike. There was once a poor old Malay, one you have never seen the like, who sadly told his son one day, "Son, we have to sell our bike." So, to the nearest town they went. The old man on the bike astride. His son, very soon, feeling spent, walked slowly on his side. They passed two men on their way, two old buddies talking. One was heard to distinctly say, "He makes the young fellow walk." On hearing this, the old man said, "I think, my son, they do not like to see me riding. I'm afraid you had better ride the bike." Two more men later they met. They would seem at the boy to joke. Said one, "See that strong, selfish lad? He makes the old man walk." The old man then said, with a frown, "Whatever we do, my son, seems wrong. So let us both walk to the town. We can push the bike along." Two more men then came into view. One of them, as he stepped aside, said, "Look how foolish are those two, walking when they both could ride." The old man winced at what he heard and irritably said, "Indeed, his anger had now been steered. Let's both ride our iron steed." The rusty bike wasn't fit, for it had not been well kept of late. And when both of them sat on it, the old bike couldn't take their weight. Alas, alack, what noise was that? They both heard a snapping sound. The bike broke. The tires went flat. They were both thrown to the ground. Now, folk, you all know the moral of this quite short and simple tale, that if you try to please others to please yourself, you will fail. That is it. Thank you.
The moral lesson of this poem conveyed in the last stanza in the line that if you try to please others, to please yourself, you will fail. Nothing good happens when you prioritize other people. Seeking approval solely from others without considering your own values and desire can lead to failure and dissatisfaction. This lesson highlights the importance of balance and authenticity in one's action. When one prioritizes pleasing others in the expense of their own happiness, they may find themselves unfulfilled and face internal conflict. The lesson does not entirely mean that you must not validate others, but rather encourage a more balanced approach where consideration for others is important, but not to the extent that it compromises one's true self and personal well-being. This points out the idea that genuine fulfillment often comes from harmonious understanding of both self-approval approval and consideration for others.
For instance, we can learn from this story that if you try to make others too happy for the reason that it satisfies yourself or your own desire, or gaining some benefits for yourself, that will make or likely to fail in making them happy. If you do things just to please yourself without think the need or the wants of others, it can create an insincere and superficial relationship. The true relationship or friendship always think about how to respect, to be honest, and genuine concern for others and well-being. Gradually, it is important to focus and mind on being a good friend first and foremost, that rather than just trying to fulfill your own interests. For further discussion about the moral of the story, I will give the floor to the next reporter.
To continue the discussion, we will talk about one of the many morals we can get from this story. The story of the old man, his son, and their bike conveys the message of people will often be affected by the opinions of others. As told in the story, the old man and his son kept on adjusting to the judgments of others, and because of that, their bike was broken. While it is important to put into consideration how other people might feel about our actions, we should put the well-being of ourselves first. Their opinions might not always be valid because sometimes people just like to hate others for no good reason. That is why there should be a balance of respecting others' opinions and doing what you want to do. Do not stress yourself worrying about what you should and should not do to please others. Do things that will make you happy.